What's up, bitty man? It's the Bronco with the Frog coming at you with another reaction video. This is always a hot topic among the footy scenes, among the soccer fans, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's in person, anywhere on the internet. You can always talk about football and why it's the biggest sport everywhere else and why it's not the biggest sport in America. Somebody on one of my live streams, they asked me this a while back, and it was like, how big of an impact do you think the World Cup will have on like American soccer? And to be honest, truth be told, bro, I know y'all don't want to hear this, fool. A lot of people think because of the fact the Copa America just happened in 2024, the Club World Cup is happening in 2025, and the World Cup is happening in 2026. A lot of people believe that after the World Cup happens, soccer will explode in America and take off and blow up to be like a top 3 sport and overpass like MLB or NHL or whatever. But me, genuinely, personally, bro, I honestly do not believe so. My genuine opinion is that soccer will never be a top 3 sport in America. You know why? Because we already have too many other sports that we are deeply ingrained with. You can say that the youth picking up soccer is getting more popular and it starts with the youth, but guess what? The same youth is always still playing American football. They are still playing basketball. They're still playing baseball. You get what I'm saying? They still have all these options to choose from, and I just don't believe that soccer will be the #1 option. After the World Cup, during the World Cup, everybody will be going to the games, everybody will be having a great time, but after the World Cup leaves, guess what? Everything is gonna go right back to normal. Messi went here to Major League Soccer, everybody was like, bro, this is the greatest signing in American sports history. It's gonna change the sports landscape in America forever. It's gonna make MLS top 5, top 3 sport in the United States. A year later, all of that did not happen. He came, he had all the buzz, he had all the celebrity at the games the first month. He had everybody talking about it. A year later, nobody outside of the soccer community talks about Messi and what he's doing over there in Inter Miami. And that's just what it is, bro. I hope soccer can get up there and be a top 3 sport in America, you know, but I just personally don't see it happening. Hopefully I can be proven wrong. Hey, go subscribe to Football Iconic. Shout out to him for making this video. Get that man to 350K subscribers. This video is titled, Why Football Failed in America. And I already see Pelé right here. And I know Pelé came to play in America back in the 70s. So, you know, Messi is kind of reminiscent of that as a superstar who's coming to play. But it still never really worked out. So, hey, let's see what go down. Best played in America? Wait, Crowe played in America? What the hell?
I believe in soccer in America. I come to play here because I know in few years we'll have a good team in America.
He said that in 1975. He said he was just being, you know, optimistic. He was just saying it for the clicks. And this was a long while back, boy. He said he believed he would be big in America, and that, in fact, did not happen.
In America.
Shout out Pelé, though.
Football in North America has been steadily improving over the past few years, but for such a wealthy and sports-orientated country, have you ever wondered why many in the world's sporting and commercial capital of the world haven't really cared that much about the most popular sport in the world? There have
I'm gonna let him explain. I ain't gonna butt into it.
Been several attempts to drum up interest in several ways, and what better way is there to get people's attention than to rely on the star power of star players? Zlatan Ibrahimovic moved over to LA Galaxy in 2018, made a lot of noise, scored a belter on his debut, and dipped. 11 years.
Hey, you know what's funny? I was not watching soccer then, and I definitely heard about when Zlatan came over here. I seen a clip on Instagram saying, oh, Zlatan did this in his MLS debut, and I did not hear a single thing about that after that game happened. I don't know if they won the league. Well, I know now, but I don't know if they won the league. I don't know how many games they won. It feel like he was only over here for like 3 games.
As before that, in 2007, David Beckham came in. Great player, great career, star power, brand awareness, we know the deal. He even ended up becoming an owner of a club, and it was that same club where the great man himself, Lionel Messi, entered the game. He took his talents down to South Beach in 2023, and he's even gone on to start up a budding career in Hollywood.
Bad boys? Bad boys?
It seems these efforts are a bit of a work in progress. Leaning on star power is nothing new. These methods are, well, antiquated. While Messi made a big splash when that deal was announced, perhaps no other player has had quite the same impact on football in both North, South, all of America as the greatest player in World Cup history, Pelé.
Ooh, I know them Lionel fans is on your head about that quote. You telling me Pelé's move to America in the 1970s was bigger than Lionel Messi coming over to the MLS like recently? I'm genuinely shocked at that, to be honest with you, especially like in the advent in the age of social media and more people watching, there's more eyes everywhere. I already know it's a lot of Nail fans who mad at you. Bro, there's no way Pelé had a bigger impact than Messi. Messi's the GOAT. Messi. You feel me? You know how them Messi boys get.
Although, in his case, the location was New York and the year was 1975. The impact Pelé had on the sport in America was tremendous, for all the right reasons and all the wrong ones. Albeit indirectly, he contributed heavily towards its downfall. Now,
what? Pelé contributed to the downfall? It's going to be the same reason why when Nail leave, everybody and their mama tuned in for Pelé. And Pelé only. Guess what? When Pelé leave, everybody else go leave and everything go drop. Sales go back down and teams go be going back to losing money maybe.
Exactly do anything wrong. Because of him, football was on the cusp of truly hitting the mainstream. Sadly, his presence led to a domino effect of bad decisions that are still very much affecting the game today. So, today we're going to talk about Pelé. We're going to talk about the meteoric rise and the historic fall of football in the United States.
Hey, let's hear it.
America.
Go subscribe to Football Iconic, man.
Hello, hope you're well. I'm well too. Thanks for asking.
Subscribe,
what better
bro.
place is there to start than the very beginning?
North American Soccer League.
Our story starts all the way back in 1967. Just to avoid confusion, I'm going to have to refer to the sport as soccer for quite a bit of this one. All the purists out there, you're going to have to forgive me. I don't want to do this. I have to. I don't want.
Bro, like I was saying, and I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all was mad when I was saying soccer at the beginning of the video too. Bro, when I refer to football in America, I'm going to say soccer. If I'm saying referring to football in Europe, I'm going to say football. That's just how it is. If I'm talking about it, when I say soccer, just automatically assume I'm talking about American sports, bro. It's just a damn word. It's just what we call it. It's not that big of a deal. Get over yourselves, boy. Damn, y'all get on my nerves.
Want to confuse football with hand egg. Soccer in America was nothing to be impressed by this point in history. Leagues had been around stretching back to the late 1800s, but this was nothing to write home about. However, after millions of Americans had tuned in to watch the 1966 World Cup, proving that there was tangible interest in the sport, an opportunity had presented itself to a group of
We're gonna be
investors.
rich, boys.
Following a few failed attempts at establishing a nationwide league, a few failed franchises, and a lot of money lost along the way. On the 7th of December, 1967, the two most prominent soccer leagues in the country joined forces: the National Professional Soccer League, or NPSL, and the United States Soccer Association, or USA.
Hey, that's live right there. The USA League. Just call it straight USA. NPSL is diabolical for a league that has no type of ring. But hey, you finna go watch USA? USA Soccer. Ooh, that's patriotic right there. Where can America at?
Soccer Association, or USA. No, that wasn't a joke. Merged to make way for the NASL, the North American Soccer League. Things didn't start out great. There was a lot wrong with the league early on. In an attempt to kickstart the professional scene they were going for, several foreign players were brought in pretty much immediately. By the end of the first season, there were only 13 American-born players across the 17 teams.
Damn.
Foreign players were pretty much running the show. Oh, sorry about that. That's the wrong logo.
Hey, that's how it is. That's still how it is in the MLS today, bro. But hey, yeah, Premier League. Remember, if you follow me on Patreon, I was saying that about this because before one of the games, I think it was Man United versus somebody. It was Wolves versus City. They had the flags of the players like next to their name, and I was like, damn, where the hell are the English flags? This is English leagues, and it's only about 4 English starters in America. Inter Miami versus New England Revolution. I say, damn, the New England Revolution has to be like the most patriotic United States damn football team or soccer team, and they only have like 3 damn Americans on the squad. Boy, ain't that shit how it go? People use the MLS as a measuring stick to how American soccer go, and it's not even really Americans playing in that hole.
That's the wrong logo. Anyway, in this scenario, local fans found it difficult to identify with players of foreign backgrounds, which didn't help with drumming up interest. Low ticket sales, coupled with low TV viewership and the inability to appropriately show adverts mid-game, much like in other American sports, meant that several teams went out of business within less than a year. Seriously, apparently commercials were overlaid onto the screen while the ball was in play. You see, guys, YouTube did not do it first. I joke, but off the bat, things weren't looking good for the NASL. There was a slow start, but big things were on the horizon. And the first big thing was truly massive. Somehow, the boys over at New York Cosmos had convinced the most famous player to ever step foot on a pitch to sign for them in 19...
Hey man, the Messi boys goes to the or Cristiano, bro. Cristiano Ronaldo is the most famous guy ever. He's more famous than Michael Jackson. Yeah, I'm finna get going, man. But how in the hell did they convince Pelé to come there?
1975. Pelé. Initially, there were a lot of questions being asked. This was a peculiar move for a few reasons. First off, Pelé had retired from professional football a year prior. He turned down offers from giants in the game, such as Juventus and Real Madrid, to hang up his boots. Second of all, nobody outside of America had ever even heard of the club he was going to play for. And third of all, America? Really? People have been trying to drag this guy out of Brazil for years, yet he goes to the country whose professional league was...
He didn't play in Europe, so he could have had a chance to finally go to Europe, but Pelé. Come on, I'm mad at you for that. Damn, you could have shut the haters up. That's what they be saying for your greatest. When people call you the greatest, oh, he never played in Europe, brother, and all of that. But you want to go to New York?
Is only 7 years old at this point. Strange.
However,
upon realization that, according to the New York Times, he was paid $4.7 million to play for them over a 3-year period, things began to make sense.
What is that with
the media
inflation?
behemoth Warner Communications, and more specifically their CEO, Steve Ross, were responsible for founding and funding the Cosmos. Naturally, they, and more specifically he, were the culprits behind bringing Pelé to North America. And if you're even half familiar with the Warner name at all, you already know that they had the cash to make it happen. Another thing to remember is that despite the fact that he was a 3-time World Cup champion, had countless individual and team awards to his name, and was almost unanimously thought of as the GOAT at that time, footballers were doing okay, but they weren't earning crazy money. In this contract, he was set to earn more money than he had ever earned in his previous 2 decades of football. But
well, that definitely makes sense, because they ain't no money circulating in Brazil now. Ain't no money circulating through there, especially in the 70s. What money they had circulating over there in the 70s? Besides in the city of God with Lil Z and them, with all that drug money and stuff. Come on now, welcome to America, but the big banks.
Money wasn't the only hurdle that needed to be jumped to secure this man. It's hard to fully paint a picture of how globally recognized Pelé was in the 70s. No Instagram, no Facebook, no Sigma edits. TV, radio, and print media reigned supreme. And Pelé had been dominating those spaces for almost 2 decades. He was a superstar in every sense of the word, and in Brazil, a national treasure. The Brazilian government had no intention of allowing their most famous and recognized person to work outside of the country. He was the ultimate ambassador. So since he was 21, he was effectively barred from leaving. Even after he retired, getting him to move to North America for a last dance proved difficult. US Secretary of State Henry Kissinger, a man who happened to be a massive Pelé fan, had to convince them that this transfer would be an important strategic political move to strengthen ties with Brazil and the US in order to let him go.
That boy Pelé was a damn political prisoner, not a political prisoner. That nigga was a political pawn, political pawn chip. Yeah, put it like that. He was a damn pawn on the chessboard, man. Brazil say, man, United States is big ass superpower, even though they just lost the Vietnam War. They coming out the Cold War looking real strong out of World War II and all of that. He say, we need that backing. We need the backing of the United States of America. Pelé, go ahead, pack your bags, baby. We need the United States of America on our back, man.
This was a robust operation, but a necessary one for the NASL and the Cosmos. Pelé gave the league the credibility that it had been craving from the start. He essentially forced everyone to take the NASL seriously. Before Pelé arrived, according to award-winning sports writer Gavin Newsham, soccer in the United States was dying a slow,
and
painful, and largely unnoticed death. He went on to say that soccer, according to an unnamed writer at the time, was just a game played by commies and fairies in short pants.
They still say that today, bro. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. This is reasons why I say this mentality is still implanted in like majority of the America's minds. They still view it as a damn women's sport, bro. That dude said it's a game played by communists, and fairies and booty shorts, bro. Well, it ain't like NBA. The NBA folks weren't wearing no booty shorts out there, but still, fool, like.
Which is one of the strangest sentences I've read out loud. You can tell that it was said decades ago. In any case, when Pelé stepped in, even though the vast majority of Americans were not interested in soccer in the slightest, there is a massive celebrity culture. And such.
That boy done brought out the 1970s baddies. He got the little Woodstock baddies out
Americans had very much heard of Pelé. Again, this guy was a mythical beast to the general public. Everyone needed to see him alive to confirm all the stories they'd heard. The result? America's interest in soccer surged overnight, and what followed was undoubtedly the most iconic period for the sport in the country's history.
Shout out that boy Pelé. Shout out Pelé, man.
The season before Pelé signed, Cosmos had finished bottom of their regional division.
Oh, so he pulled up Messi and joined the worst team in the league. But the difference between Pelé and Messi is, unless he go tell more of a story, Pelé ain't bring no reinforcements. Messi brought reinforcements. You feel me? He brought his homeboys and shit to help. They're still winning while he out. Pelé said, man, I'm going hurt by myself standing 10 toes down.
With a record of 4 wins, 2 draws, and 14 losses, a 25% win rate. When my man arrived, 3rd out of 5, 45% win rates. But they were improving, and the silverware would soon come. But it's 45%.
They still won more than they lost, though. But I mean, you know, like I say, he came one man deep.
But they were improving, and the silverware would soon come. But it's not like any of that really mattered. What really mattered when it came to this whole project wasn't about what was going on the pitch.
Was making money.
Soccer was the talk of the town. Again, to quote Gavin Newsham, the impact of Pelé's signing was seismic. Before, they had given away tickets with Burger King vouchers and bumper stickers. Now, they had to lock the gates before the ground reached its capacity. The Cosmos' average attendance per match per season went from about 3,600 in 1974, the year before Pelé arrived, to just under 48,000.
Bro, it is crazy the similarities that I'm seeing. History repeats itself. It's crazy the similarities I'm seeing from this one to Messi coming this year.
1978. This is what we call the Pelé effect. And the man still had it too. 31 goals and 56 appearances in the league over his 3-year tenure was a great return in all honesty, as was an NASL MVP award in 1976.
Dallas, hey! Shout out to them D-Tab boys! Dallas Tornado done tied up with the New York Cosmos. I never heard of the Dallas Tornado. That's crazy. I know before FC Dallas, we was called like the Dallas Burn, but hey, shout out them Dallas boys. Still putting in work in the 70s, man.
So it should come as no surprise that after Pelé, several other star players came pouring through. Most notably, Italian striker Giorgio Chinaglia from Lazio, who was one of the best strikers in the world at that point, and Franz Beckenbauer, who was Franz Beckenbauer.
Beckenbauer came?
All of a sudden, the wins came pouring in. A star-studded team.
Okay, my bad. I lied. He did bring reinforcements. Pelé brought reinforcements. I didn't know Beckenbauer played in not Major League Soccer, but in North America, yeah. Okay.
That were actually performing to their potential. This is something we can all get behind. These guys were winning all of the fans. They were essentially rock stars. You know how celebrities are always spotted courtside at NBA games? Well, when it came to the Cosmos, it was no different. Everyone wanted a piece of it, even actual rock stars. You already know Drake would have been there had he been around at the time. Instead, he had to settle for supporting Moving along. This time
Everybody,
around, the fact that many of the players were foreign was actually seen as a badge of honor, as opposed to how foreign players were perceived only a few short years prior. We transcended everything, every culture, every socioeconomic boundary. We were international. We were European. We were cool. We were Americans from the Bronx. We were everything to everybody.
That's tough right
the
there.
words of Shep Americans from
tough.
the Bronx. We were
That boy say we were
everybody.
everything to everybody. We transcended everything, every culture, every socio-economic boundary. We were international. We were European. We were cool. We were Americans from the Bronx.
Words of Shep Messing,
Shout
the
out to boy
Cosmos
Shep.
goalkeeper at the time. And in 1977, they finally went all the way. New York Cosmos were the soccer ball champions. Yes, I said soccer ball.
Soccer ball.
Don't laugh, but
That was
it's
the
a
name?
perfectly normal name. I said don't laugh.
Soccer ball champions for real?
Anyway, times were good. Until they weren't.
Pelé departs. Oh, man.
The 1977 win was a...
Wait.
No,
I
said
thought this was like from a... Well, nah, this wasn't from a World
soccer
Cup.
ball.
I was going to say. I
Don't
thought that
laugh,
was
but
like...
It's a
little
perfectly
picture,
normal
you
name.
know? He just so
I
iconic,
said
bro.
don't laugh. Anyway, times were good. Until they weren't. The 1977 win was a fantastic victory for the Cosmos. They had finally lived up to the hype and weren't done just yet. I say this because they went on to win the top division title 3 more times in the next 5 years. However, the 77 season was also the last season in Pelé's 3-year contract. For the second and final time, the great man hung up his boots. And it was a
retired.
pretty sad day when it happened.
Feel me? That boy done brought the 1970s snow out there. You feel me? The 1970s honeys. The 1970 babes. Man, let me chill for Dr. Umar come out here and choke me out.
Happened. Pelé closed out his career in a friendly match between Santos and the New York Cosmos, the only 2 club teams he ever played for in his career. In the second half, it started raining, and so the very next day, a popular Brazilian newspaper printed out that even the sky
was crying. I knew they was
but
gonna
there
say
was
that. They so dramatic, man. They was so dramatic back in the day, bro. I literally was saying, rewind it. I literally was saying it as he was saying it. Even the sky was crying, boy.
more misery to come, because unfortunately for the NASL, almost all of the interest and momentum that the Cosmos had built up in the 3 years prior, much like Pelé, disappeared.
Yeah.
Not immediately though. Earlier, we took a look at the average season
It's like a
attendance for
pyramid.
the New
It's
York
gonna go like
Cosmos
that.
before and after Pelé joined. It's not bad, as is expected when you're reigning champions. Coincidentally, this is also a chart of the increase in plastic in New York. Anyway, below is a chart of the Cosmos attendance in the years following Pelé's departure.
going down.
This is what we call the Pelé effect. To be real, Pelé's departure and the league's lack of a star man obviously contributed to its downfall. However, there were a whole host of other reasons for why the walls came tumbling down.
Really? How not to run
In
a
short,
league.
the fall of the NASL can be broken down into 4 main categories: too much hype, too much spending, not enough regulation, and a blatant disregard for the tradition.
Traditions. Yeah, here go the promotion, relegation. Nah, that's regulation, not relegation. My bad. Sorry.
Of the game. Too much hype. The NASL was growing at an incomprehensible rate in the second half of the 70s. TV deals were being agreed, stadiums were being packed, and the promise of a growing monetizable audience was becoming very, very real. Jackpot, said almost everyone whose money was already tied in the league. Everyone had seen what Cosmos did in signing Pelé and decided that this model was a winner. Johan Cruyff, Georgie Best, Carlos Alberto, and a whole host of other players were signed by other clubs in an attempt to get their piece of the pie. And the league's commissioner, Phil Woosnam, aggressively increased the amount of teams in the league from 18 to 24 in 1977 to reach as many markets and demographics as possible. Well, instead of expanding, they probably should have been examining the popularity and performances of the teams already in the league.
Facts.
You know, a minor detail.
They stretching it out. They stretched everything out too thin, bro, instead of keeping everything compact into normal. But that's how it is. You get damn greedy. You get too greedy. But that's America for you. Just try to make as many bucks as you can.
Attendance for the Cosmos in 1978 was the highest of any team in NASL history. Like I said, roughly 48,000. It's good stuff. But the average attendance for the remainder of the league, not counting Cosmos, was less than a quarter of that.
And I'll bet you the salesman who was selling this to the TV audiences was mixing the Cosmos and the rest of the league together to show how. But even if the rest of the league was still kind of bring the average down, but the average would still be higher, you know, mixing in that. And they got conned.
About 11,000. And ironically, attendance and ticket sales didn't matter all too much to Cosmos. They were backed by Warner Communications, so they had an unlimited amount of money they could burn through without remorse. The rest of the pack that did need those gate receipts did not. Too much, too fast. Which brings us to point 2. Too much spending. To quote the San Diego Soccer's owner and team name Jack Daly directly, it became fashionable to chase the Cosmos. Everyone had to have a Pelé. Coaches went around the world on talent searches, forcing the prices up. And to make matters worse, not only were the majority of the foreign players brought in their twilight of their careers, but new regulations advocating for more North American players to feature in.
What y'all think about this rule right here? He said, y'all not... Bro, they not even saying start. It say you can't sub this American out if he's the last American on the field, bro. It got to be 3 on the field at least at all times. Damn. You got to change your whole tactics up centered around there.
In each team meant local talent became increasingly expensive. Again, to quote Daly, our hype tried to present the NASL as a new NFL when
they
we weren't ready. To add insult to injury, on average, 40% of an NFL team's budget went towards wages. For the average NASL team at the time, that figure was over 70%. Too much, too fast. Which brings us to...
They was making money, though. Them players, a bunch of them players enjoyed it. They look at that time, man, when I went to America. Boy, I made so much money. I had fun. It was a vacation for them.
Number 3. Not enough regulation. The owners of the new clubs that were being brought into the league were not subject to any form of formal vetting at all. Many of them were the Silicon Valley millionaire type, likely never seen a match in their life. Spending was frivolous, unguided, and had dire consequences. In the 1981 season alone, it's been reported that every single team made a loss. A total of roughly $30 million is the figure that's being quoted. A tremendous sum of money in 2024. A gargantuan amount of money in the early 80s. The salary cap was introduced at the onset of the 1984 season, but at that point, it was too little,
it was too late. And remember, you remember I introduced the salary cap, and hey man, y'all should look into it, bro, if y'all want to introduce parity to the sport. So the same big team, so the La Liga can turn from a 2-team league. Y'all get what I'm saying?
But at that point,
I know it's
too
late, but
too
still,
little,
shit.
too late. We spent too much money trying to market teams as if they were instant big league franchises before the attendance and money justified it. Chicago's Sting owner, Lee Stern. Too much, too fast. And finally, number 4. Disregarding traditions. A big reason why the NASL is not remembered too fondly, especially by purists, is its inconsistency in rulemaking and alteration of long-standing football traditions. The majority of American sports are high-scoring affairs, so soccer was a deviation from the norm that the decision-makers of the NASL felt was a crutch. To minimize offsides calls, a rule was put in place that stated that instead of using the halfway line as the point where no offsides could be called, a line 35 yards from each goal was the new cutoff.
Damn, what y'all think about that? I know the goal scorers had to be high. I know a lot of people would be pissing off with the fine margins of offside, but yeah, this is kind of crazy, bro. I like the halfway line rule. I thought they was gonna say that they changed the offside from like being a hair lacer or like a shoe offside to like a whole body or something.
35 yards from each goal was the new cutoff. The clock counted down instead of up, like many other North American sports. To prevent draws, penalty shootouts were added for all games that ended in a tie. The number...
Hey, man. You already know I like that. Forget all them damn draws and ties. That was the biggest thing that I had to wrap my head around as an American. like watching soccer. Like, bro, y'all really ending these games in fucking ties and draws? Like, what the hell is that?
Number of points awarded to teams for wins varied considerably season after season. The teams were even awarded extra points for goals scored up to a max of 3 points.
Dang,
This
what
was
they
all
wanted to do.
very wild. From a fan perspective, I fully understand why people were clocking out. The NBA, the NFL, MLB have all gone through rule changes as time went by, but they were all rooted in their own unique identity. From what it seems, the NASL was never sure who or what
they were.
It really was, constantly trying to change the rules and do anything to get eyeballs on its product. All signs pointed towards complete collapse. Drained, demoralized, and broke, team after team closed operations. And by 1984, the NASL was no more.
So what is that, 7 years after Pelé left?
The NASL should always act as a cautionary tale for
5?
any and every ambitious organization in the world, sporting or otherwise. Be wary of exponential growth, because sometimes it really is too good to be true. After hearing all of that, it's hard not to kind of drift off and imagine what things would have been like if the Pelé signing was simply used as a springboard and the league found a way to grow in a sustainable fashion without the reckless spending. Based on how large the general American sporting scene is in today's day and age, I can say with no doubt whatsoever that America would be a superpower. The superpower. And the irony in all of this, corroborating what I just said, is that soccer was actually getting popular in the States and millions of children and adults were really getting into it. Schools were starting to play it more and more. Adoption was on the way. There was clearly an appetite for the game. This was on display during the 1994 World Cup, which was hosted in the US to great success. This World Cup proved just how much local interest there was in the sport and helped pave the
most attended World Cup in World Cup history for y'all who don't think 2026 go work.
Way towards the formation of the MLS. However, taking all of that into consideration for the sake of completion, if we're being fair, we do have to give credit where credit is due. For all the rule changes and inconsistencies, we have the NASL to thank for a few very prominent aspects of the sport. To make players easier to identify, they are credited with being the first to print player names on shirts. They were also credited with being the first to do away with the back pass rule, whereby goalkeepers could pick up back passes.
Oh, for real?
And the strict salary cap on players that keeps MLS clubs spending in check was likely heavily inspired by the NASL. Anyway, after all of that, I would like you guys to walk away from this video with this one very important message. This entire video and all my blabbering is just to say that Pelé was 100% to blame for all of this, and he categorically ruined football in America. I'm kidding, of course. All right.
Hey.
Anyway, there we have it. That's all for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you're having a great day. Cheers, and I will catch you in the next one.
Hey, clap it up for Football Iconic. Go subscribe to him. Go check out the rest of his videos. Beautifully made video. Beautifully made documentary style video, man. Why football failed in America. A story on how that boy Pelé came and the leagues collapsed after he left. I'm not saying the MLS go collapse when Messi leave, but after Messi leave, who knows what's gonna happen to that Apple TV deal? Who knows what's gonna happen in the future, bro? I feel like they made all the wrong moves since Messi has came. They should have been having them games and made a TV deal, having them games on local TV to where you only need an antenna to watch, like on Fox 4 or Channel 21. But no, you gotta go to a streaming service to watch them. That's low-key why the talk has been down within the casual American sports viewers. Hey, like I say, this is my opinions. Let me know what y'all think. Hopefully soccer in America does get bigger and bigger and bigger. But I'll always see it as like a number 5, like a niche sport in America, bro, to be honest. Hey, I'm out.